Good evening. Welcome to the February 3rd, 2026 Select Board meeting. This meeting will be broadcast live and recorded on Foxboro Cable Access. We are going to enter into executive session for the, well, actually, I'll let you read.
Motion to enter into executive session to, 1, discuss deployment of security personnel or strategy with respect to security related to stadium events, and 2, conduct strategy session in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining or contract negotiations with non-union personnel regarding the contract for Finance Director Marie Almodovar, sorry. That's
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mark, yes.
Stephanie, yes.
Bill, yes.
Amy, yes.
Debbie, yes.
Okay. We'll be returning on or about 7 o'clock. Welcome back to the February 3rd Select Board meeting. We're going to go, I'm going to repeat this anyways, this meeting will be broadcast live and recorded by the Foxboro Cable Access. Start with the pledge.
Yeah.
Doc?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Citizens input? Nobody on? Okay. Move on to the Child Sexual Abuse Awareness Committee. Would you like to come forward?
I put your mail right there. That's the mail for the child, from the mailbox of Town Hall.
We had mailbox.
Yeah.
So, give the number, put the number in, I got the number.
So,
I got you, buddy.
Pass out copies of our report.
Sure.
Won't be dubbed. Thank you.
want to apologize, the drainage printing department today wasn't up to snuff. So on the back page, there's a illustration that belongs to the front.
Doug, can you move the microphone up closer?
Sure.
Yeah, actually, make sure they're all near you. I always get yelled at for not being close enough to the
You
mic.
can hear me, that's for sure.
Who would like to start us off?
Yes. I turn to the back page where the display is. I want you to really look at this. I don't think people are really looking correlated to real world. When it talks about 1 in 10 children will be sexually abused before 18. There's 3,000 kids in Foxborough between the two schools. That's 300 kids. Even if we had a perfect environment here and said it only half is 150. I don't care if it's just one kid. We could need to be vigilant, not wait for another Bill Sheehan thing to happen before we, wake up again. So we're, as a committee, we're keeping the whole program alive, and it's difficult times, but there's 3 members on the committee that have been here for the duration, and we're very dedicated. We meet once a month for an hour, and we get more done that hour than a lot of people can do in like meeting every week. So anyways, so look at this chart and digest what it is. And, 300 kids, that's what, 8 busloads, et cetera, All right. To the report. This has been an exhilarating year for our committee. First time we added 2 seats to the committee at our request, expanding from 7 to 9 seats. These seats have been filled by 2 highly qualified individuals. Kay Enberg had a career working with families and has taken charge of her training. She is excellent. Toby Roma is the superintendent of the Foxborough Regional Charter School. We are very pleased to have both Kay and Toby join our efforts. Another key development is the Mass Senate Bill 2659. For many years, we have attempted to improve state law to expand the definition of mandatory reporters, require them to be trained. While the bill does not give us the expanded definition, it does require training and other benefits we have requested. We are very grateful to Senators Feeney and Kennedy, as well as Representative Chason, who met with us and then led the fight to get this bill together. This meeting was well attended by members of the public who spoke of the history of our committee at the meeting and before the legislature were assisted by Jim DeVillis, a founding father of the committee. We're grateful for the help of Jim and others. We're assured of the bill's passage in early 2026. It's probably going to be a little more than that, but it's been attached to a big omnibus bill and has a better chance of getting through that way.
They told us today the bill is held up because they're adding to it, so.
Hopefully that won't bog it down. Our trainings to educate people in ways to keep children safe, spot signs of child sexual abuse, reached around 640 people this year, including school personnel and other town employees, members of the public, and churches. 9,000 more eyes and ears to pay attention with vigilance. We're fulfilling the mission given to us by the town. I think we've trained over 4,000 people now, which is more than any other town in the whole country. The Sage School will be joining our efforts in 2026 for the next school year. Also, the charter school will likewise be regular in training under Toby's leadership. Next year, we hope to find cooperation from Foxborough Sports Center, Mass Premier Courts, and local daycare centers in training those who work with children in their facilities. I think, Aim, didn't you train some people?
Yeah, few daycares.
Uh.
And then bigger ones, bigger town, like at the McGinty.
Oh, all right. We're constantly investigating different training courses to be sure we are providing the very best to protect our children. We're looking at some which are briefer and more cost-effective. Stay tuned. We have a very dedicated committee which meets the first Wednesday of every month at 4 p.m. at the community center on Main Street. 1-hour meetings which are open to the public. You're invited to join us. We have a sector of the town to be responsible for. I'm more than happy to have visitors voice their thoughts for the benefit of our work. When we leave the meeting, our mission to spread the awareness goes with us. I ask all of you to stop in once in a while, just see what we're up to, and Tomorrow? What better timing?
Does anybody else have anything else they'd like to add?
Yeah, if I could. I wasn't sure I was going to say it or not. In here, Bob just briefly covered about like Mass Premier Courts and the Foxborough, arena and stuff like that. Looking at the bylaw we have for the town, which is given to us as pretty much our mission, we don't have any real jurisdiction over them. So I can go to a youth group. I can, any of them in town, the ones that use basketball, for example, that use the schools. If their volunteers aren't trained, they don't get use of the school gyms. Our football program, our baseball programs, our soccer programs, town fields, same thing. And we all know it's the right thing to do, and it really has helped a lot, and we've built a great database. Mark Craig has been instrumental in that. A lot of times in the past, different organizations were running their own like checks and balance type of thing. And even if you're part of a national charter that mandates it, we just roll that information over into our database so that we can check. And of course, there's a lot of people that are involved in multiple activities in town, as we all know. But with those groups, this past month, I had the task of going to those two businesses. But then I'm thinking, like, I can't, like, hold anything over them saying, like, we need you to do this. I can suggest it. It is the right thing to do. they may already have to do it because the insurance policies that run their business or whatever the case may require it, but it may only be a percentage. And I know from coaching youth football, we belong to American Youth Football and Cheer, and our insurance carrier, Sadler, only mandates that the head coach for each team has to be trained. All right, so across the league, we have 20-plus towns. They only train the head coach of all the teams in their program. In Foxborough, we train all ours, and it's because of what we have in place. All right, so one of those businesses may have a similar situation where it says the owner or the manager or whatever has to be trained, but does every employee have to be trained? Does that the maintenance guy who has access to a locker room where children are changing up, does he have to be trained? So I would like it if somehow you guys can help us put a little more into that bylaw. I mean, we'll take time to think about it. We can talk at our meeting tomorrow and maybe come back at some future meeting and talk to you folks, but I think we need that in order to kind of like push people a little bit politely.
And I think somewhat the reality on that issue is going to be if they want to use any of our assets, we have an ability, just like you do with any of the current youth sports.
Right.
You know, if they want to use a gym, they want to use our field, whatever. And I know they have run some things on some of our fields. That would be the stick we would have. But to be able to tell a private entity that they have to do something like that is going to be something that I think is a reach for our abilities under the law. So, but again, if they wanted to use any of our fields, they want to use our gym, they want to use anything that's town property, our bylaw can stick. So
It might be worth a try. If they do work on their building, they have to run it by the town, right? They have to have the town inspectors come in and inspect their building and so on.
now that by law, we have to do the inspections.
Right.
So,
So that's my point.
yeah.
If we begin an effort toward that, maybe we can make it a policy.
I mean, they very well may be receptive, which would be
I would hope
nice.
so.
All right, but it's almost just, we're really trying to drive it home, like, when I had to reach out to the Boy Scouts, I knew we had troops in town, but I had no idea who the heck was in charge of any of the troops. And fortunately, because of all the scandal that they've had, they have to have their training, and ours is like a 4-year period. And we tell you every 4 years. In fact, mine's due this month, so I have to get retrained. But they do, there's like, biannually, something like that. Every 2 years they have to do it. The schools, when new people come in, they get onboarded. It's all part of their training. I believe so. Town employees, the same thing.
I mean, could you offer at these places, like, to hold the training at their facility and just say, pick a date
we
and work with them and
Kay
say,
is extremely flexible.
and just say, we'd like to offer this free training for you and the people that, are coaching the kids here in this building.
Yeah.
And,
Try that.
we just,
Yeah, and that's the key thing, is the free part, because the online is like about $16 now, and some people are like, $16, I gotta pay for this. I get it. I mean, and in some cases, volunteers, we'll reimburse them. At least like the program ourselves, not so much this committee. But we do offer the free thing, and we try to talk it up. And Kay's had some classes where she's had
especially if it's their
very small
off-season,
amounts of people,
where
if
they
any.
have space right there at the building.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Bill. I think it'd be really hard for us to mandate anything, but I think what you're saying is a great idea. But, I mean, it's anything that we can mandate, like, there's a state law, like, you cannot serve someone under 21, you cannot do this. I don't think we could go into a restaurant saying, you need to serve chicken teriyaki, because that's what people like. But I think if, whether it was you, Doug, or somebody, like, I can see your passion when you're talking about it, obviously. I think if you were to maybe go into the facility, and like you say, we could help you with the training.
Yeah.
The one thing I would think is, I know there are these insurance policies, But I think the last thing that any business owner would want is to have a child come home to their parents and say they were just abused at their facility.
Right.
So I think that might drive it home for them, and if they have the knowledge of this committee to help them be trained, that might be enough to make them want to do it without us even having I don't think we could make a bylaw like that, but I know if I were a business owner and somebody was willing to help me with that training for my employees, I'd hop right on it. Because, I mean, that's the last thing you would ever want. Because I'm going to tell you right now, that would probably put your business, word gets out, a child was abused somewhere. So I think the message is fabulous. And maybe you could address it that way and see if you could get them to hop on board.
Sure.
But have your meeting, and if you have any suggestions, feel free to bring those back.
Sure.
We understand that for 12 years, we've been thinking outside the box. That's what we're presenting, we're throwing an idea at you that's outside the box. We know that's like, oh, but that's all we've ever done. And we've made a lot of progress in doing it. We're trying to change the culture and send a message, because the work we're doing is the most important of any town committee in Foxborough. More important than any other is protecting kids who are vulnerable.
I have a
Any other
question.
thoughts, comments?
Doug, did I understand you correctly that Mark Craig is the keeper of the database
Yes.
for all sports, all organizations? What if someone were to fall through the cracks, which is
We're gonna-
easily to do? Who is responsible?
It's interesting you say that, because I'm going to find out tomorrow. I'm going to see if my name is now a different color in his database,
Yeah.
and how he's created it. I go from black to red, for example, like Doug Seuss, his training's up, and then if he's still involved with children, he needs to be retrained. Now, the key thing is even if the database identifies that, where's the mechanism to contact people? As Bill and I were talking prior to coming in here, unlike youth football, where I've been involved for 3 decades, there's a lot of turnover in a lot of the other youth groups, so sometimes yearly. All right, so passing on from one person to another, unless they have an officer, youth basketball now has a compliance officer. So even if it's a different person, it's their duty, it's their responsibility to make sure that their folks are being trained. All right, and again, they don't have to keep records. All they got to make sure is that new people are being funneled on to Mark. And I tend to be a pain in the butt when I know that a new season's rolling around, and I'll reach out to whoever the president is. I'll say, hey, if you got any new people, and some of them obviously are crossed over because they, as I said earlier, they're involved in many activities, and that's fine. And we don't just make it the stewards of children training. We've also accepted facsimiles of other types of safe sport, for example,
Sure.
and a few others, so that, we're not on a hard line saying it has to be this specific training. It could be any one of these varieties as long as it covers the same subject matter. So we're going to find out how good the database is, because it was about 4 years ago that we created it. And
A lot of times, parents or coaches follow with their kids, and then they tail off. The fact is you've dedicated that many years to Foxborough youth football is commendable. A lot of people don't, once their kids are gone, they move on, and like you said, you get more people coming in, so that'd be interesting to see if it is up to date and,
yeah, and again, it's the mechanism on how, so, again, if Mark has a name that's on there, I get to actually see how it's linked, or is it just a person's name and when their training's up, or does it also designate the group that they were with? All right, because that way there, you can at least say, oh, they were in the school system, or they were in Boy Scouts.
Paige, does this leave the town vulnerable? If somebody were to horribly fall through the cracks and something were to happen?
I don't know. I would have to check. I mean, I want to say no, but I don't want to actually guess on something that important.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Doug. Good luck with your research.
I'll try. I'll use my charm, right?
Anything else?
Well,
Appreciate your work, and thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
It's good seeing all you folks, too.
You guys too.
Yeah, they did, they tried to change the.
Annual town meeting?
It's a different one.
Yes, so
I'm trained
you
in that now, too.
need to, what's the date, Katie? Close it by when?
February 15th?
February 15th. So, at this point, let's see, I have a list here. I mean, it's 16 articles, I think? Yeah, 16 articles so far. The warrant is closed, or the placeholder is closed. But on February 15th, it needs to be officially closed, so we were asking that you make that vote now, effective February 15th.
Okay.
Do you have the motion?
It's not on here, but I can certainly say it. I'd like to make a motion to close the annual town meeting warrant on February 15th, 2026.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. Town manager's update?
Sure, so you all should have gotten your budget books. The budget is now available. It's posted on the town's website. So if anybody at home wants to see the FY27 budget, it is out there. And I will be presenting the budget to the board at the next meeting on February 17th. We have a very full agenda on the 17th, just so you all know. We've had pretty short meetings lately, so we're going to pay the price on February 17th, so bring snacks. I have some good I have some good news around the State Hospital Auditorium project. I think I told you that the state wanted money, and we pushed back, that they were saying we had to do an appraisal and pay them fair market value, and we pushed back. And fortunately, they've come back and realized that they don't actually have the right, that the way the legislation was written did not require that. So they don't even care about the appraisal anymore. We're able to do the appraisal for half the price because we're doing not their appraisal but our appraisal. So we're able to move forward. I'm working with town council and DCAM right now, DCAM's lawyers, I sent over a checklist of what I believe has to be done to get the steps underway. There's been obviously a delay getting back to me, but the good news is we're no longer held hostage by that. And the money that we make on the project stays in Foxborough. With respect to the strategic plan, this is for the residents to know that Polcol, which is the company that does the National Community Survey that you heard a little bit about last meeting, they are preparing in the next week or so to send out surveys to 3,500 households. These households were chosen through a random, statistically significant sampling. So those, we don't know how they were picked. We had no say. It's done through the standards, nationwide standards of how you get statistically significant random sampling. So they're going to first read, those households of 3,500 will get postcards, and then the packages should arrive in about a week. And then rest assured, though, those that aren't chosen as part of the 3,500 still have a chance to fill out the survey. It's just going to come a little later, and some of the data will be used as a whole, but this gives us that statistically significant sort of sampling to use as we go through, see how we compare to other communities and whatnot. So there's a whole process. It's very formal, and this company, Polcode, this is what they do. So we have a website that's hopefully up this week. Amora is going on vacation Thursday, and she has been really working hard on a lot of projects, so I'm hoping it gets up by Thursday to have a strategic plan website. For World Cup update, we did receive, with respect to licensing, we did receive the initial response on our town comments, and the deadline, you all probably saw the email I sent out, we did create a deadline of March 17th, 2026 to have the license completed. So that is underway. Tomorrow I'll be sending out an updated list of issues that you all got a copy of. We were just waiting for the discussion earlier talking about financials. Since nothing's really changing there, we are probably going to also have the cash flow statement about ready to go out, so that will be going out in the next this week. Let's see, the land use department continues to work on site plan issues for World Cup. We had a Stadium Advisory Committee meeting last Thursday night, January 29th. Bill and I met with Boston Soccer yesterday, and we have weekly meetings scheduled for the next month or so. We met with the governor's office on January 23rd, and we have another meeting with them on Friday about World Cup. The good news is the ticket verification for parking that Chief Grace was concerned about, that has been addressed. So FIFA has taken care of that, and Chief Grace is satisfied that the process is in place to ensure that only those that have tickets are able to buy parking. So that's a progress. I'll give my usual update that short-term rentals are prohibited, as are selling of parking spaces, commercial lots. Yesterday, the Capital Improvement Planning Committee met to discuss Chief Grace's request for a UTV. There's presently 4. 3 of them are required for Gillette operations, and 1 of them is more than 10 years old and no longer can be repaired. So we can't wait till annual town meeting to deal with it. So the CIP did approve funding for that $40,000 UTV. And our annual CIP meeting that we hold every year is scheduled for Saturday, March 7th at 8:30 a.m. on Zoom. We do it on Saturday so everyone can watch it. We know we have a big attendance. Last week, Bill Yukna and I recorded my third Common View television show. So Bill is my ratings grabber, hoping we get some good turnout. This one's on the strategic plan, so they're in post-production right now, so stay tuned for that. I'll be sure to let you know when that comes out. And just a reminder to everyone at home to sign up for Fox Alerts. I think it was a huge help during the snowstorm and when Mechanic Street was closed and whatnot, so stay tuned for that. I'm having some minor foot surgery tomorrow, so I will be out tomorrow, and then I'm going to work from home Thursday, Friday, but I should be available. They say it's not a big deal. And we have firefighter paramedics job advertised on the website. And lastly, there is going to be some MassDOT construction on Route 140. There'll be single lane closures on 140 right before the Walnut Street intersection and just past the Walnut Street intersection, and that starts tomorrow and should go tomorrow 4th through the 6th between 9 and 4 p.m. 9 a.m. 4 p.m. And that's all I have.
As a follow-up to Paige's World Cup, we've made it fairly clear to the Boston 2026, which is the local FIFA connection, that unless all the terms in our licenses are approved, one of the largest parts of that is the financial aspects of it. We do know that, we don't know for a fact because it hasn't been released, but that the grant application that we had applied for, about $7.7 million, may not likely be fully funded. However, the town is going to stand behind the request of the $7.7 million for both manpower and some capital and expense items. And if they aren't met, then as this board has discussed in the past, the license won't be granted. So we're going to be very clear with that. We try to in every one of our meetings so far and every discussion we've had. The grant's a great thing for some of the funding, but it doesn't hold harmless the town of Foxborough, and that's exactly what we're looking for. This event is not Foxborough's event. This is a national, international event, and it's not up to the town of Foxborough to support or pay for any of this. And as our chiefs are the ones responsible for the security and safety of the facilities, their needs need to be met, or this cannot be an event that moves forward. So just being plain clear on it.
And to clarify, the grant, even if however amount it comes through, it's reimbursement, and we're not in a position
Correct.
to put forward $7.8 million up front and hope to be reimbursed. So even if we got all of the grant, we'd still be in a financial.
Yeah. So we have had conversations with the craft organization on a method to take care of some of the stuff that's based on the grant. But again, my concern is if the full grant hasn't been funded, or at least our request for the full grant hasn't been funded, then there's an additional problem that needs to be resolved, and it has to be resolved up front. Many of those capital items need to be acquired now, so there's going to be a very short time frame. And again, the town of Foxborough is not paying for those for an event that really is not our event. So just want to be really clear on that one. If there's any questions or comments on that, I'm sure you can talk to one of us, either myself or to Paige. Other than that, does anybody in the group have anything on?
Yeah, I think I want to piggyback off of the Fox Alerts and how really important getting that information out to the town is. I thought it was wonderful when there was a situation on Mechanic Street,
That's right.
a fire, I believe. And the fact that at least I got notified and the 4,000 people that have signed up got notified to stay off Mechanic Street. It was a public safety issue. They didn't need the observers. They didn't need the extra cars. And I thought that was great. I just thought to be able to know that ahead of time. It was kind of funny when I was out in Florida 2 months ago, getting a notice that a main broke on North Street. was kind of funny, me being away, but it's still kind of important, letting people know that what's going on in town. So sign up, it's real easy.
And I have to give Chris Gallagher credit because he does most of them. And what I really like what Chris is doing is not only does he tell you when it starts, but he tells you when it ends. So then once Mechanic Street was open, I think he told everybody it was back open again. And that's something we're trying to get everybody to do. Now, public safety is often very busy, not that Chris isn't, but Chris has really embraced it, so hats off to him. And we're encouraging everybody, all the other users, to do the same thing as when it starts, but also let us know when it's over so that residents kind of know when to stand down.
Oh, and if I can, one more?
Yep.
Through the chair. Speaking about Chris, being a walker uptown, as everybody knows I am, they did a wonderful job cleaning up uptown.
Great.
It really looks great now. I feel a lot more comfortable walking around.
They had to do, just so folks know, I mean, they worked last week overnight and they ran out of time. And then the guys had worked 46 hours straight and then they rested one day and then they went back out. So we did get a few complaints even like this weekend and whatnot, but they were out last night again. So it's, when you get this much snow, you just can't handle it. And it's been every town dealing with the same issues, but thank you for that. I know they've been, and we've had a few residents actually call and thank let Katie sends the kudos along, and it's really nice to send those along to DPW because they are really working hard out there.
I think they did a great job throughout the storm. If you drive into other communities, they were struggling, days after the storm, and Foxborough did a phenomenal job staying ahead of it and throughout the day.
Yeah. I guess I just wanted to add, Amy and I both went to the rallies, the send-off rally. It was incredible. It was there was more than 10,000 people there.
I thought it was 30,000.
I heard early on, someone told me that, it was Jess. She walked by and she said hello, and I said, wow, what a crowd. And she said, right now we have 10,000 people in. So that was before it actually started, so maybe just people hadn't.
I think there were at least 30,000 tickets.
Hadn't scanned maybe to get in yet. Anyhow, it was cold, but it was great, and it's funny because like the reaction. I don't know, Amy, if you felt the same way watching, Coach Rabel, some of the players. I think they were amazed at how many people were there. Just to send them off.
A lot of them haven't been here for one, so this is like their first one that they've ever been a part of. So
exactly, but I think even this one might have been. I've been to a couple. This one might have been, they had the most, like with the Dropkick Murphys and more former players speaking and stuff. So anyhow, we'll know Sunday night if we're bringing another trophy home. But go get it and good luck to our team. Hopefully we're gonna bring number 7 home.
Okay. That's it. You want to hit the action items?
Sure. Motion to approve use of public way application for the Foxborough Youth Baseball and Softball Opening Day Parade, April 11th, 2026, from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Route to come down Bird Street to Railroad Ave through the Common to South Street, ending at Booth Field.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay.
Opposed?
Motion to approve the use of public way application for the 36th Annual Rodman Ride for Kids on May 16th, 2026, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The 25-mile and 50-mile routes to start at 38 Neponset Street, right onto Chestnut Street, crossover Mechanic Street intersection, left onto Cocasset Street, left onto East Street, onto Sharon, and then end the race coming underneath the railroad bridge, passing the Foxborough VFW, pass under 95, and right turn onto Chestnut Street, cross Mechanic Street, left onto Neponset Street, to the finish line at 38 Neponset Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No?
Motion to approve a one-day beer and wine application for the Rodman Ride for Kids, end of race celebration on May 16th, 2026, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 38 Neponset Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None.
Motion to approve 4 one-day beer and wine licenses for B Hoppy Brewing LLC, doing business as Wormtown Brewery from March 20th, 21st, 27th, 28th, 2026, from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. at 200 Patriot Place for the comedy scene.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none.
Motion to approve 6 one-day beer and wine licenses for B Hoppy Brewing LLC, doing business as Wormtown Brewery from March 6th, 7th, 8th, 13th, 24th, 15th, 2026, from noon to 11:30 p.m. at 23 Patriot Place for performances by the New England Public Theater.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Motion to approve a change of hours application for Sol Tequieres, Foxborough, Inc., doing business as Achilitos Tequila, located at 265 Patriot Place, to serve alcohol starting at 10 a.m. on Sundays.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve change of hours application for B Hoppy LLC, doing business as Wormtown Brewery, located at 250 Patriot Place, to serve alcohol starting at 10 a.m.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion
Oh,
to,
quick question. Is that, the other one said just for Sundays, is Wormtown just going to be 10 a.m. every day?
Good catch. If you could say the word Sundays, that would be great.
sure, I'll just read it again.
Yep.
Motion to approve a change of hours application to B Hoppy LLC, doing business as Wormtown Brewery, located at 250 Patriot Place, to serve alcohol Sundays starting at 10 a.m.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Motion to approve the fiscal year 25 meeting schedule.
Second.
27.
27,
26, 27.
sorry.
Yeah, 26, 27. And that, okay, you second?
Second.
And no concerns on anybody on the board?
No.
It's all set? Okay.
Checked all your dates?
I did.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none.
Motion to approve select board meeting minutes from January 16th, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Motion to approve select board meeting minutes from January 20th, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.